A lot of the chivalry stuff, even when you start going back into the Middle Ages, where chivalry really comes from, where you're talking about a man and a lady and how a lady is supposed to act and how a man is supposed to act, that's what a lot of that stuff is mimicking. So now in 2026, is that where we are? I would say no.
Agreed. Go ahead.
And I would also, I'll bring in some personal experience. A lot of the women I dated when I was in the dating world didn't really care for chivalry. It might have been just the women I was attracting. I remember I was dating one girl, and in the Caribbean, we have a thing where the women walk on the inside. So you don't let them walk on the outside and everything like that. And she thought it was hilarious. So she would do everything to like point this out. So one time we're in the street and it's like, well, technically there's cars coming on this side and cars coming on this side. Which is the inside, which is the outside? And it just got to the point where I gave up because it was like, you know, she's kind of right. You know?
Nah, she's disrespectful, bro.
Nah, yeah, I agree 100%.
Why are men so afraid to approach women these days?
Me too.
Well, I think like there's obviously the fear of rejection in there too. It's not just me too, right?
Oh, certainly.
And there are a lot of 100%. Insecure men out there that really don't want to face the possibility of rejection, so they will never put themselves out there. But then again, on the other side, women need to learn how to reject men without being rude to them and having some grace about it. Like that's kind of a lost art, is rejecting someone in a generous way.
Yeah, I 100% agree. A lot of men will have the experience of going up to a girl and it's like, it can be pretty brutal, the ways in which men get rejected. Certainly in like a party type environment, if there's alcohol involved, even a guy who like in a very polite way goes up to a girl, like when alcohol is involved, people can be very obnoxious and brutal. And also with social media, men are also scared of like, they don't want to come off like a creep, not just in that moment, but then like if the girl goes and tells all her friends, oh, this guy came up to me and approached me, and I don't know, so.
She could record you, yeah.
A lot of these modern women like to continue to ask, know why men don't approach, why men are not coming up and talking to me. Well, a lot of you have gotten a little bit too comfortable with disrespect. A lot of you gotten a little bit too comfortable with just throwing out, he's a creep, he's not the man that I'm looking for. It's just a whole bunch of stupid stuff that you come up with. And a man is like, why would I continue to deal with stupidity if I don't have to? That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So you find yourself really not getting approached.
Women get this so wrong about ethical avoidant men. They think ethical avoidant men are afraid of commitment, afraid of closeness, and that couldn't be further from the truth. He's traumatized from the time he couldn't save someone. And this happened when he was 2, 3, 4 years old. Someone's feelings overwhelmed them and overwhelmed him, and he couldn't help them in that moment. So he had to make a choice. Do I save myself or do I save others? And now he's still making that choice today. He can try to help others, but he knows it's a failed obligation to take on someone else's needs. That's why he runs. That's why he stays away. That's why he says, I'm sorry, I can't give you what you're looking for. An ethical avoidant man needs to learn what other people's actual needs and expectations are, and he needs to pair with a partner whose needs are contained and managed appropriately. That means managing their nervous system too. When he understands that it is possible to work together as a team and that no one needs to be rescued, that's where he can commit.
And do not get it twisted, gentlemen. Women are 1,000 times more desperate for a husband than men are. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to scoff at that, so let me repeat that so you fully understand what I just said. Women are 1,000 times more desperate to get married than men are to get laid. A man wants sex, that's biology. A woman wanting marriage, that's survival. One is instinct, the other is panic. You see, men, we don't need marriage. We can build, we can innovate, and we can thrive alone, all by ourselves. Women, on the other hand, their entire strategy collapses without a man to choose them. This is why they don't walk. They sprint to that altar at 30 years old. Not for love, not for romance. No, she's got a deadline to hit. That clock has hit panic mode, and she's got to lock a man down ASAP. A man wants is normal. A woman wanting a ring, that is her entire future on the line. Her status, her stability, her social value, her survival. You see, men, we fear rejection. Women fear expiration. Different battle, different stakes. If men are deprived of sex, we adapt. But if women are deprived of commitment, they break. This is why women get serious after 27, 28 years old. Because at the end of the day, no husband, no legacy. No husband, no security. No husband, no plan. This is exactly why single men are calm while single women are terrified. And they rarely admit to this, but if you're paying attention, you can clearly see that every decision she makes screams desperation. And as men, we know our value peaks with time. But women have no idea that their value races against it. As men, we chase pleasure. Women, they chase protection. One is optional, the other is mandatory. Then we got all these talking about finding themselves. Nah, man, she is hunting for a man before her phone stops buzzing for good. So while a man is frustrated, a woman without a husband is finished. And that is exactly why women will always need commitment more than we need.
And modern women really they want to go back to the era where men used to beg, men used to yearn a lot more. But, you know, if I don't understand where we're going, if it looks like you don't like me, then what am I begging for? I mean, and even ladies, you watch movies. You're watching these movies. In these movies, these women are showing some sort of interest. And so they might be giving the man the cold shoulder, but they're still showing some sort of, even if it's just a little bit, that man is looking and saying, oh, so there's a chance. And she might not say one way or another. Okay, well, she's not stopping me. Maybe I ought to continue to pursue. But modern women make it very clear today. I said no, leave me alone, get away from me. That's the end of me chasing. That's the end of me begging. I don't need to go any further.
If he doesn't call or text the day after you've had a first date with him, next. If he asks you to split the bill on date night, next. If he says he has to cancel a date because he's busy, but he doesn't immediately reschedule, obviously next. If he tells you he's not looking for anything serious right now, but he really likes you and he would love to date you, next. If he doesn't offer to get you home safely after a date, next. If he complains to you about dating and that it's so difficult nowadays to find a good woman because all women are just after a man's money, next. If he gets angry with you because you didn't reply to his text message immediately, next. If you've planned a trip together and he's not offering to pay your part of the trip, next. If he complains to you about his ex-girlfriends or ex-wives, obviously next.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Ladies, I'm going to tell you exactly why you continue to attract the wrong men and you have failed relationships. You guys are looking for everything but this one thing. First of all, it's impossible for you to have calculated, realistic expectations if you guys don't ask questions. And most of you do not ask the proper questions when you go on a date. Asking his height, where he's traveled to, and what his favorite restaurant is not going to create a sustainable relationship. Even knowing his set of morals and values, even religious beliefs, is just not enough. Do you guys really want to know what really matters that's going to give you a higher success rate? Sign up to my masterclass. No, I'm joking. The only thing that matters most in a man is his capacity, and I'm not talking about his potential. Listen, he can be a good man, he can be a great provider, he can have good credit, he can have a phenomenal career, he can be super intelligent and a man of God. But if he does not know how to hold space for you as a woman who is constantly shifting and evolving, it's not going to work out. And how do you know if a man has capacity? That's simple. Can he remain grounded when you are misunderstood, triggered, afraid, or vulnerable? Listen, a lot of men can hold a woman when she's soft, happy, beautiful, and easy. There's very few men who can hold a woman when she is grieving, exhausted, questioning herself, or emotionally complex without becoming distant or defensive. Holding space for a woman does not mean fixing her. It means creating an environment where truth, honesty, vulnerability, emotions, and healing can exist without the fear of punishment, rejection, or even emotional abandonment.
You know, modern women continue to ask, well, why is it that men are opting out of dating? Well, you know, you try being drained of your money, your energy, your resources. Something always got to be expensive. You always got to take them to an expensive place. You try doing that type of stuff for multiple women and see if you like dating. You try paying $150 fee every single time you go out and see how old it's going to get fast. Even if a man has a date, one date a month, that's $150 bill. That's $150 bill. When the new game comes out, with $150, I could have bought that game and some of the DLC. I could have gone out with the boys, taken myself out. I could have put that money back towards a trip. I could have put that money in my investment account. There's so many things I could have done with that money besides spending on somebody that I know don't like me. That's how a lot of men are thinking now. It's not that you're a bad person. It's just that in a lot of these situations, I'm burning through my money and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Men are so misunderstood. And I'm not even saying that to be one of those people to defend them. I mean, they're people just like us. I'm just being honest. I deal with them every single day. I talk to them. I actually listen. And I'm like, yo, y'all don't even try to understand them for real. Because think about it. When a man is quiet, he's nonchalant. When he's focused, he's too serious. When he's not blowing up your phone, he don't care. But then when he finally opens up, well, now he's too emotional. So it's like, what exactly is he allowed to be? Because no matter how he shows up, it gets labeled wrong. And after a while, he just stops explaining himself. He moves just how he moves. Not because he does not care, but because he's tired of being misunderstood. But I'm going to say this too. A lot of men actually do want to open up. They just don't feel safe doing it. They don't feel understood. So yeah, you might have to slow down with them. You might have to actually learn them, pay attention to how they communicate, how they express things. Because once a man feels like he can be himself around you, he will open up. He will talk more. He will show more. But that comes with patience. And not every woman is willing to do that. So it's not that he's hard to deal with. It's just he needs to be understood by the right woman. And remember, God does not miss.
How can a woman be soft in a relationship with you when you are emotionally unavailable? You are not soft in your communication with her. You do not handle her with care. You are rough, angry, dismissive. She has to be hard in a relationship with you. There's no trust. But yet and still you want her to let her hands off the steering wheel. If you want a feminine woman, become more of a masculine man. Provide safety, protection, not just physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And I'm telling you, feminine, quote unquote, women will gravitate to you. But what you don't do is be a man devoid of those things, chastising women for not having femininity when you're not acknowledging the lack of masculinity you currently have. Maybe the lack of femininity is directly related to the lack of masculinity.
And I think a lot of modern women, they have these full emotional breakdowns when they attend weddings. Doesn't even have to be a wedding, but a lot of times it is, where they'll attend a wedding or some situation where they seem to be like the third wheel, and they'll, post something like after the wedding, oh, I'm happy for my friends, I'm happy for this, and this, but when is my turn? And I say a lot of times it's weddings, but sometimes it could be I'm just the third wheel. I'm just going out with, Susie and Brad, right? We're just sitting having dinner. Or, I could be with somebody, have a +1. We go on a double date and I see Susie and Brad. Looks like their relationship is doing fantastically. It may be, it may not be. But you come up with well, when is it my turn? I've been a bridesmaid for a time this year, but yet and still you'll have on your profile, I'm still figuring it out. Or I'm a boss babe, just, kind of looking for my power couple man. Not terrible, but, you're not really wanting to be married. That's it. Your mind is not really committed to being married. A lot of these modern women, even though it's coming out of their mouth, even though they're saying it, they're not really ready to be in a relationship. They're not. I know you can say, well, I've been through all of the healing and all of the therapy and all that stuff. You're not ready. You still have a lot of tendencies about you. And a lot of times we like to throw it on the man. Like it's the man's fault. Well, if he would lead properly, then I would do X, Y, and Z. No, I get where you're coming from, but no, that's not how that works. In certain ways, yes. But a lot of these modern women out here, it's their character. They are the issue. They are the problem. You at least gotta fix this over here first. I mean, you could trash him and talk about him and dog him out for the things that he does all you want. But at the end of the day, you still got to fix what's wrong with you.
And I think a man who leads but does not honor his wife's voice, I think he sets himself up to be hurt. My wife is more intuitive than me in some areas. She may be wiser than me in some areas. She may come around people say, I don't like that woman around you. I don't like this thing. They deserve to be sharp. Yeah. Honey, when you said that in the pulpit, you should have said that. You should have. So for me, it looks like Early in my marriage, I was aggressive, I was prideful, I was arrogant. I would not listen to my wife or my kids if they tried to rebuke me. I just didn't have the humility to do that. I've grown now in my 40s to a place of humility where my oldest kids, I got three teenagers and one in college. They can come to me and say, Daddy, when you said this, that hurt me. And I know how to apologize. Or I allow them space to kind of reason a little bit. Like, you're saying this, but this is what we feel. And I've apologized. I allow space for my wife to gently rebuke me and come talk to me. It's like, honey, this is the way you made me feel. You shouldn't have said this. When you act this way, this is what it feels like being on the other side of you when you behave this way. And so I think now, for me, I think too many men think it's not manly to acquiesce to when somebody's confronting you in your home. They think it's not manly to do that. I think it shows more masculinity to show humility to say, I'm wrong. Because it's not instinctive. So for me, I'm trying to teach my 2 sons, real men know how to apologize, right? Men, I teach my sons, real men own their crap. Like, when you smell like crap, own that. When you make a mistake, own that. When you fall short, own that. Like, real men, we own that. Like I think we are weak when we deflect. That's good. We are weak when we make excuses. We are weak when we can't acknowledge we are wrong. I think it takes more strength to say you're wrong. So I think biblical masculinity is both leading well, loving well, discipling well, but having the humility to say, I made a mistake, I'm wrong.
Where to meet people in real life. I know we're all super tired of the dating apps, and whether or not you live in New York City, this is going to be very helpful. Number 1, walking my dog. Yes, a guy literally stopped me on the street while I was walking Crackers, asked for my number. It was giving all the rom-com vibes. Didn't work out, but Crackers and I literally flew home after that encounter on our walk. Number 2, Soho House. No, I am not a member. Yes, I was there with a friend, and I locked eyes with a guy, and he walked over, asked for my number. Another couple of times it has happened while I was eating dinner at the bar inside of a restaurant, all by myself. Y'all, you cannot be afraid to do things alone. I get asked for my number by myself more than not. Soho Grand Hotel. This is a bar that is inside a hotel lobby that pops freaking off. You need to be going to places where things are popping off. You know the vibe. You know what's driving people there. You know which places are out there that you need to go to. Y'all, I love a hotel bar. When I lived in Philly, I used to go to the Ritz-Carlton hotel bar all the time. I would go by myself. I would get asked for my number all the time. I recently started going to the Waldorf Astoria hotel bar here in New York City because it just reopened. And my girl loves her Hilton points, okay? Somebody asked for my number recently at the hotel bar inside the Waldorf Astoria. Again, if you don't live in New York City, you can find a hotel bar near you. All the details and all the restaurants that I have been to where guys have asked for my number are broken down on my Substack for free. Tap the link in the bio, check it out.
A lot of these modern women make dating impossible, right? I think men just get tired of doing everything on the date, having to plan it. If you're not careful with a lot of these modern women, you can end up being 10, 15 years into the relationship, and you've been pretty much doing everything. Pretty much. I plan the dates, I cook, I clean, I go to work, take care of the kids. I'm involved. I might not do every single thing, but I have my hand in every single part of the relationship. Cooking, cleaning, taking out the trash, fixing the cars. You take the kids to soccer practice, I take the kids to soccer practice too. You cook dinner, I cook dinner too. Take the kids to doctor's appointments and keep them when they're sick, I do the same thing. So there's a lot of men out there that while these modern women are saying that men are not involved, they actually are. In a lot of ways, they're actually more involved than the woman is. And when you bring that to her attention, she's like, yeah, actually that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be doing way more work than me. What? Yeah, you're the leader of the home, so you do way more work than me. That gives me time to be free and be creative. Right, but what are you doing in your time of being creative? I'm creatively selecting more shows to watch. I'm creatively trying to figure out how to make your life harder.
You want to know the one thing good women are no longer doing in 2026 is waiting on a man. Period. It is not because she's impatient. It's not because she's rushing to love. It's because she's intentional. She realizes that timing matters. Alignment matters. She is done waiting on your potential. She's done waiting for you to do the healing work you should have did before you met her. She is done waiting for you to be ready for a relationship while you're claiming to be in one. That woman would rather lose a man than to lose years of her life waiting for you to turn into one. I guess what I'm saying is she's done waiting because she's already done the work. When you ready and you intentional, you know that you don't settle for bare minimum treatment. You don't settle for men that's incapable to commit, that don't know if they want to go to the next level. Women are no longer waiting for men because waiting for an unready man is expensive. It costs you years, tears, pieces of your heart, your mind, your soul. It costs you your future husband, your children, that house, your path, and your purpose. I guess what I'm saying is, if she gotta wait, then y'all can't date. And it ain't got nothing to do with her being impatient. It has everything to do with her being intentional and ready to be found by a man that's actually ready to find her, period.
Women are starting to ask the question, why don't men approach anymore? What? Why don't men approach anymore? Because you become unapproachable. You become so entitled, so rude. You think you're better than men. You think a man needs to come out and prove something to you when it's you that needs to be proving to him that you're wife ready. Men aren't going to go out and approach you just to get shot down and get laughed at. This is the environment. Men are cost-benefit calculators, and far too many modern men are starting to say, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. Men aren't approaching. And when men do approach, you don't like the way they're approaching. Well, men are starting, who are approaching? The dudes with the cat calling and the holler monsters. Because, ladies, you made the market the way it is. You condition the market. You condition the customers. Men are the customers. You can get me too by approaching. You ask the question, when does it become harassment? When does it become harassment? The only way it's not harassment is if you're an attractive guy. And most guys are like, if I don't make enough money and they're this tall and this thick, I don't have a real shot. So if approaches are down, guess what else is down? Dating. Dating is almost non-existent.
I think here's what modern women, they don't seem to get is, you have a guy that's texting you good morning. The man is, picking up the tab a lot of times. He's planning the dates and all that other stuff. He some of these guys are driving across town. Some of these guys are driving to another city. I want to reiterate, they're picking up the tab. I mean, paying for everything, asking follow-up questions, remembering everything that you said. But for some reason, you think that you don't have to do anything in a relationship. Number one. Number two, in a lot of those situations, modern women will straight up friend-zone that guy. Will straight up friend-zone him. The man did everything that you were, asking him to do, and then you'll friend-zone him. You tell me how that's gonna work. You tell me who you gonna find that's gonna do everything that man was doing for you, and be happy to do it. That's what they think until 30 rolls around. Or I got time. 35 rolls around. Or I got time. I can extend my time if I freeze my eggs. 35, 36, 37, 38, 40 rolls around. And now you're like, dang. I recently heard one woman say, I'm kind of the black sheep of the family. I think she was like 50 or almost 50. I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm always messing stuff up. I thought I'd be married by now, but I'm messing up everything. Everybody else is married, and me being single is kind of destroying basically the whole vibe, which, not really. You don't need to be rushing into things just because you feel like you're the odd man out or you're the third wheel. That's the quickest way to get into trouble, right? But we can say that you've probably been messing around and wasting time in your younger years, and maybe that did contribute to you being in the position that you're in. today.
Here's what the secure woman does when he's inconsistent. And this is something that will take practice. And the more you do this, the more empowered and confident you will become in dating every single time. And I'm Valerie. I help you attract a healthy relationship. Follow me for more advice and book a one-on-one session in my profile. When the man you're interested in becomes inconsistent or pulls back, or you feel like something has shifted, this can create instability when you are running from and operating from anxious patterns. Things were going well and then something changed and now you feel shaky, now you feel unstable. Here's the shift, and this is what the secure woman does. The secure woman always goes back to what stabilizes her. She goes back to what anchors her. She relies on her tools, the processes, the emotional intimacy she has with herself, taking great care of her inner world. She goes back to those things that help her feel grounded and help her feel empowered. She doesn't reach out to him. She doesn't go to him to help her feel stabilized. She does that within herself first. She's willing to shift her beliefs. She's willing to look at her patterns. She's willing to get intimate with this trigger. She's willing to ground herself. She's willing to take herself to a place where right before she's about to spiral, she goes, oh, I know what's about to happen. I know what's being triggered. Let me pull this tool. Let me do this thing that helps bring me back to me. You can be a secure woman and have moments of feeling anxious. You are human. The difference is you don't let yourself stay there, and you know how to stop yourself before a spiral happens and shift back into your true state, which is feeling confident and empowered. And if you want help with learning the tools and learning the exact mindset and internal shifts to make to go from feeling anxious in dating to secure, so you can attract an emotionally available, secure partner, I'm going to be teaching you all of this in my brand new program, Securely Chosen. Get on the waitlist for Securely Chosen to get early access and exclusive savings at the top of my page.
You might disagree with me, but love is alive and chivalry is, and I have 3 books that are going to show that. Now, man, I need you to pay extra attention to these books because these are the blueprints to make your wife, girlfriend, or significant other extra happy. Number 1, Pride and Prejudice. Mr. Darcy is the blueprint of what not to do when making a first impression, but his redemption arc is one of the strongest in romantic literature that I've ever read. In my opinion, Mr. Darcy teaches us the importance of authenticity and the pursuit of somebody that you genuinely love. This can be seen through his first proposal all the way up to his second proposal when Elizabeth and him finally get married. If you want your wife or your girlfriend to feel loved and pursued, Mr. Darcy's a good place to start. Next up, I'm gonna go with another Jane Austen character. We're gonna go with Captain Wentworth from Persuasion. Now, I do need to preface by saying, yes, he was a huge at the beginning and middle of the story when he got rejected by Anne's family for not being wealthy enough, but his come up is something great. You see, it's through Wentworth's story that we get this new perspective of love through merit and not love through monetary value. And yeah, Wentworth acts like a huge throughout most of the book, but at the very end, he lays down all of his emotions in this beautifully famous letter to Anne, and that wins her for him. So at the end of the day, guys, I guess if you want to win the heart of your significant other, your wife, your girlfriend, the girl you've been looking at across class, write her a letter. Girls love letters. And finally, you probably didn't see this one coming because I didn't see it coming either. We have Edward Cullen from Twilight. Yes, I know, it's Twilight, but just hear me out. Edward is willing to risk it all and divulge the deepest, darkest, most intimate parts of himself because he loves Bella. He is honest, he is caring, and he is fiercely loving. And that is something that we don't see a lot of in today's books. The lesson that we could take away from Edward is just being 100% authentic, being yourself, letting other people or the people that you specifically care about see the real you. That's what Edward does for Bella. And I think that's what we should do for the women in our lives that we love. Well, there you go. 3 examples that love is alive and chivalry isn't. Let me know if I missed any down below.
You know, modern women continue to keep themselves single. Well, you know, sometimes it's themselves keeping themselves, it's them keeping themselves single. But then once again, so many times we see modern women lose a good relationship over a toxic best friend. And it's really hard sometimes for these modern women to tell whether this is good advice or not, because genuinely, and a lot of times these modern, their friends have given them good advice in other things, right? So, hey, you know, go out here and take a chance going over here and traveling the world. You might have a good business experience. And they actually go and they actually do have a good time, business and pleasure, right? I go over there and I see the sights and I learn a different culture and I actually spend a couple years over there, right? Great experience. I learned how to do business in a different country or different language, different city, whatever it might be. And I grew from it. So that was genuinely good advice. But then when you go over here and you talk to them about dating, they having trouble themselves, or they haven't really been successful at it. And even sometimes some of these ladies are married and they still be giving terrible advice. They don't really give the detailed advice that their friends actually need. They give the just roundabout way advice to where you're like, what is this going to do? How is this going to help me? And so they actually disqualify men based on how they feel versus what's actually true a lot of time.
Part 4, and I will leave it at part 4 unless y'all want me to continue. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it at part 4. And I'm going to say this, that men have a right to their feelings, and this is how they feel, ladies. Let's get it started. Y'all are too naked, too scantily dressed out in public. They don't like the fake hair and the extended lashes. That's been an ongoing conversation. They hate lace front wigs. They hate it. Y'all are not fun to be around. Someone said, why even date when you can get everything for free, expecting everything, offering nothing, too many attitudes? I agree. Always needing approval from your friends, from y'all friends, very unapproachable. I can also agree. Say you want good men, but constantly pick the opposite. I agree. Always seeking validation and attention from social media. I can go on.
I think one of the wildest things that modern women are doing today is they're great at revising things, revisionist history, where they'll rewrite like a normal breakup, a normal situation that would happen to anybody. They'll take that story and really like zhuzh it up. They'll really rewrite it and replay it and be like, oh, this is exactly what happened. It's like, oh man, you know, I survived and I was in complete survival mode. I never had a man to help me and all this other stuff, when it was just really a normal breakup. Like, y'all are going your separate ways. You decided, hey, this is the man that I want in my life. He was like, okay, well, I can't be that man, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go in a different direction. Love you. Thanks for the great times. And then you find out he's married or he's with somebody else, and all of a sudden, you know, he treated me terribly, and I guess he wasn't that bad if he could move on from me so fast. That type of nonsense. You're just single at 35. And I'm not going to say you haven't been a good person. I'm just saying that man done moved on. That man done moved on. You thought that man. A lot of these modern women are putting ultimatums out there. What they're trying to do is they're trying to manifest. They're trying to say, oh man, this is what I want. And in the moment, because they don't know what they're doing, they'll try to speak something or say something. They're like, oh, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it. And sometimes that does work, right? Because you say something, your brain believes it. And so you start going in that direction. The only issue with that is you can't control somebody else. That other person still has free will. So while y'all are thinking, I'm just going to say it and he's going to do it, they're doing it in relationships too. Oh, I'm just going to say it. And don't even say it to him. I'm just going to say it into a room, into a mirror 50 times, and it's going to happen. He's going to chase me. He's going to yearn. He's going to come back. And when he don't, oh my God, you know, this man was narcissistic. He was an abusive person. You know, he never really liked me. And now I'm realizing at 35, none of my boyfriends ever actually liked me. That's not true. If you have 5 boyfriends, let's say 3 out of the 5 didn't actually like you. That still leaves you with 2 good men that actually cared for you, did the things that you asked them to do, but you decided, oh shoot, I want to pivot and go this channel. You know, everybody's making a point and everybody's making an issue about red pill and how it's radicalized my man and how my man ain't the same anymore and it destroyed my marriage. But when are we going to talk about the pivot? When are we going to talk about the pivot that these modern women take when they're listening to this nonsense on TV, content by Shira 7, content by some of these other foolish, silly, idiotic dating coaches, where they pivoted and they go, I understand, this is exactly what I expect. Yep. And maybe you're not listening to a dating coach because, well, I'm married and I really don't need that, or I'm in a relationship and I really don't need that. That same stuff that you're not listening to on TikTok is going to show up in the music. It's going to show up in the TV shows that you like. Well, I'm just watching it. It's this really good show, and I really don't see it. It's just a show. But that's showing up in your mindset, and you're expecting your husband. Well, I want him to do that, man. I would like that. And you're dreaming about it, and you're thinking about it, and you're expecting that man to do what they didn't written in the show. These people that you watching on the show don't even put it in real life. These people that you watching on the show don't even have a spouse. They don't even have a spouse. And you sitting up there, well, my man, this, that, I wish he would do this, that. And if he don't do that, and I guess we ain't supposed to be. Writing your own narrative, creating your own narrative where there is none. It's a normal relationship. Get your head out of your behind.